Eoghan Corry, editor of Travel Extra, is here with us to tell us about new air routes, popular routes and even more accessible destinations. Good morning and Happy New Year, Eoghan.
Happy New Year. Happy 9th day of Christmas. I think it's the Ladies' Dancing Day, Mary.
The Ladies' Dancing Day. What new routes have you for us coming on stream in 2024?
Oh, quite a few. The marquee new route is Denver, Colorado. Terrific state. Aer Lingus have been talking about this for a little while, and it's coming in May. They'll be one of several transatlantic routes we're getting or restarting out of Dublin. Minneapolis, St. Paul, it's like the 46A bus. You wait, and two of them come together. Aer Lingus will be restarting a Minneapolis route they had pre-pandemic, and Delta will be joining them on that route as well, which is fantastic. And we've got a new server, not a new route, but a new carrier, and it's a really important carrier on the JFK, Dublin to JFK route. JetBlue, they're a low-cost airline, not in the Ryanair sense. They have a business class and a premium economy class, but they are much cheaper in terms of long-haul travel, and it's a big arrival. They're flying directly to JFK and to Boston, summer only. But Mary, it's really affected the prices. Aer Lingus have a sale at the moment. It's booked by up till January the 15th on transatlantic, and it's €179 one way to New York. They're the sort of prices we haven't seen since the global financial recession, and that's what a new operator on an existing route can do for prices.
Yeah, and we're talking there mainly about Dublin. What have we got in the other airports, places like Cork, Shannon?
Cork are back to 53 routes. They were down to about 40, and that's a huge growth. And Cork is growing probably faster than anyone else. The Leon to an Aer Lingus route, which is very good for skiing, that just started before Christmas. And Ryanair are going to have a Zadar route in Croatia, Rhodes Rhodes in Greece, the Greek island, and they are also got a business route, Charleroi, near Brussels. There's 10 new routes out of Belfast International as well, including 2 interesting Tunisia ones and 2 Malta ones and 2 Larnaca ones, where again we have competition coming in. And the other Dublin routes, which are the shorter haul, the European routes, Dalaman are coming from Aer Lingus and Catania from Aer Lingus, and we also will have a Sicily route from Aer Lingus. The Catania Sicily route is very important because we're underserved to Sicily. We used to have 3 services that went down to 1.
Lots of sunny uplands. We'll talk about new Ryanair figures as well in a minute. But are there difficulties? Because Dublin Airport has this cap, this 32 million passenger cap. Is that going to act as a barrier to more airlines coming in, more flight frequencies through Dublin?
Has to go, Mary, and the political noises are being made even by the Junior Minister for Transport the other day that it's not something that an airport can work with. The reason is you're in negotiations with airlines. They're all talking about growth. There's 6% extra slot applications in Dublin, including some of the airlines that haven't announced that they're flying, like Ethiopian have applied for Addis Ababa, but they've not announced the route yet. But once you have that cap on it, it stops. It creates an air of uncertainty, and aviation doesn't like uncertainty. They like to have a fair idea what these very expensive aircraft are doing in 6 months' time. Very interesting to see what will happen on the political front in that. But we passed the passenger cap in 2019. There wasn't a word about it. We passed it again in December. We're likely to, the figures aren't out for Dublin Airport yet, but it's likely that it'll be about 33.8 million passengers will have gone through. There'll be a lot of argument about double counting. Some of them then didn't even get off their aircraft, but they're counted twice. But at political level, we're bound to see some sort of movement of the passenger cap in the coming weeks.
And let me ask you 2 questions in one just to round this off, because you have new Ryanair figures, but none of these figures show any signs of any concern, do they, that people might have around climate change in influencing how they travel or how often they travel?
Yeah, well, the big climate change debate is you have an aviation industry which burns carbon. Do you start shutting it down, or do you decarbonise it? The people I talk with all the time are very serious about decarbonising it. Willie Walsh is now the CEO of IATA, and he has got a programme in place which is being costed and a lot of effort being put into how this is actually being paid for. They're the sort of questions that don't arise at the Barrack. And we've got two airlines with the two of the newest fleets and the two of the the lowest emissions fleets. Based out of Ireland. We're very lucky in that in Ryanair and Aer Lingus. The Ryanair figures you mentioned, amazing figures for the year. 181.7 million passengers in a year. When some listeners will remember when they were smaller than Aer Lingus, smaller than British Airways. They've overtaken all of them by a margin of about 60 million passengers. They're now the biggest airline in Europe and the third biggest in the world. If they were in the sports field, everybody would be cheering.
Eoghan Corry, editor of Travel Extra, thank you very much.